right. So, like anyone else feeling the heat in this job market, whew, it's a lot out there, right?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive.
That's why we're diving into something today that can, well, hopefully give you a bit of an edge. At least that's the idea.
Yeah.
We're talking about AWS cloud engineering and how AI tools, specifically Google's Notebook LM, are kind of shaking things up,
Interesting stuff.
right? And the best part, this isn't just for like the coding geniuses out there.
Right. It's got much broader appeal than that.
Exactly. We were going through some research, and it turns out AWS skills are hot HOT across all kinds of industries, like think finance, healthcare, you name it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how it's permeating every sector.
Kind of wild, honestly.
Is it?
It is. One article I was reading even said that some AWS certified pros are, get this, making up to 25% more than their coworkers, like doing the same kind of work just with that AWS knowledge.
Wow, that's a significant difference. See, and that right there, that tells you just how much companies value those skills right now.
It's huge, right? Makes you want to go sign up for a class, like right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're right in the thick of this major shift. Businesses are like packing up their entire operations and moving them to the cloud. It's not just a trend, it's the way of the future.
Why is that? What makes it so much better?
Well, think about it. Cloud computing, it gives companies this crazy flexibility and the ability to scale their operations up or down way easier than before. Traditional infrastructure just can't compete with that agility.
Makes sense. It's like, what, trading in your cramped little office cubicle for a whole skyscraper. So much more potential.
Exactly.
And speaking of potential, I read this really cool story about, it was, I think an accountant. Totally burned out, hated their job, but they learned AWS. And get this, they totally switched careers, like did a complete 180, and now making bank, loving life.
That's fantastic. Love those stories. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Right. Super inspiring, right? Like, okay, maybe I don't need to be stuck in this job forever. And get this, there's this AI tool now, too, that can help us, as normal folks, actually understand this whole AWS thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's Google's Notebook LM. Have you heard of it?
Of course. I've been playing around with it a lot. It's pretty amazing. It's like having a personalized AWS tutor right there in your pocket.
Whoa, hold on. Really?
Yeah, imagine this. You're wrestling with some AWS concept, right? Totally lost, about to give up.
Been there.
You pull out your phone, open Notebook LM, and bam. It creates a study guide, but not just any study guide. One that's tailored just for you, explains things the way you need it, and gives you real-world examples too.
So it's not just like feeding you textbook definitions, it's actually showing you how AWS works in the real world.
Exactly. That's the cool part. It bridges that gap between theory and practical application. It's like, remember those boring textbooks with nothing but words and more words? Notebook LM is the complete opposite. It's interactive, it's engaging, it brings AWS to life.
Okay, that's amazing. I'm picturing this like almost like a flight simulator, but for AWS.
Exactly. You got it.
That's super cool. So we've got AWS, we've got Notebook LM. It's all very futuristic and exciting, but how does all this actually connect to the bigger picture, like the future of work in general?
Great question. Think about it this way. Automation is becoming more and more prevalent, right? And AI, it's driving everything these days. And that's not slowing down. If anything, it's speeding up. That's the future of work. And the folks who really understand both the cloud, which AWS gives you, and AI, they're going to be the ones calling the shots. It's like, honestly, like having a superpower in today's job market.
Like, totally. You know what it's like? It's like companies these days, they're drowning in data.
Drowning is the right word for it. So much data everywhere.
Right. So if you're the one who can not only organize all that information, put it neatly up in the cloud, but then also use AI to actually understand it, find the patterns, make it meaningful, well, you're going to be incredibly valuable, right?
Absolutely. You become indispensable.
Exactly. And our sources made it very clear. This isn't just some like sci-fi fantasy. This is happening right now.
It's already begun.
So can you give us an example? Like, how is AWS being used like right now in the real world?
Okay, sure. Imagine you're a financial analyst, right? Your day-to-day probably involves hours and hours of manually crunching numbers, pouring through spreadsheets.
Ugh, sounds like a headache.
Yeah, no kidding. But with AWS, you get to ditch the spreadsheets, or at least some of them. You're using these super powerful tools to analyze market trends in real time. No more waiting, no more falling behind. You're making smarter, faster decisions, which makes you way more valuable to your company.
Wow. It's like having like a whole team of experts and analysts just there at your fingertips, all thanks to AWS and AI.
That's a great way to put it.
So I'm curious, and listeners, I want you to think about this too. If you could use AI to, like, master any part of your job right now, what would it be? What would you hand over to the AI and say, hey, you take care of this? Would it be learning how to leverage the cloud, maybe diving deep into AWS? Or would it be something else entirely? How do you think it would change things? It's definitely a lot to think about.
It is. But it's exciting to think about the possibilities.
It really is. But I think no matter what, one thing's for